program over to our, not band president anymore, but one of our marching band leaders, Mr. Jason Census, for a few seconds here.
Thank you, Seth. So yes, I am no longer the president, but
We still make you do stuff like this. We're still going to make you do stuff.
So as some of you may or may not know, each year we are proud to award scholarships to graduating seniors who have dedicated themselves to the Broome Street Band over multiple years. These scholarships are a tribute to the spirit of service, passion for music, and commitment to community that define our organization. This tradition began in the summer of 2012 with the creation of the Henry Hank Granish Jr. Memorial Scholarship, established in memory of one of our founding members. Hank was a proud World War II Marine Corps veteran and a cornerstone of our community. He was always ready to play taps at funerals and memorial services, and his dedication to honoring others through music lives on through this scholarship. In 2017, we added the Walter and Mary Hughes Memorial Scholarship. This is to honor the memory of Walter Hughes, a devoted supporter of this band and a U.S. Army veteran of World War II. Together, these scholarships commemorate lives of service, music, and generosity. To date, we have awarded more than $20,000 in scholarships to our graduating seniors, many of whom have continued their musical journeys at the collegiate level. The Henry F. French Memorial Scholarship and the Walter Mary Hughes Memorial Scholarships are awarded to students who have demonstrated their exceptional dedication to the Broome Street organization, showing a commitment to excellence in performance, a willingness to participate fully, and a spirit of mentorship and community service. So before I talk about this year's recipient, how many of my members of this band right now have received this scholarship? Please stand up. Come on. I know there's a few of you still here. Come back every year after they're back in college. All right, so this year's recipient embodies all of these qualities. It's been a key part of our marching band, kettles. If anybody knows anything about kettles, we do the Salvation Army kettles. It's usually 3 times in the cold weather, snowing, raining, and below 0 temperatures. And with Ensemble also. He's been involved in the band for 7 years, growing alongside of it, and sharing his love of music with all of us. His musical contributions extend beyond Broome Street Band. He is a true student of music. As he heads off to college this fall, he's already enrolled in over 8 credit hours of music study in his first semester. However, music is not his major. He will be deeply missed by all of us. We are proud to present this year's scholarship winner to Bradley Reel. Please join me in congratulating. No, I'm good. Thank you.
So one of the things we do with our scholarship winners, or we try to do, is during their senior year, we do try to feature them in various performances. Bradley is French hornist, trumpetist, singer, and piano player. So we're going to be doing a piece, an arrangement of Eric Whitaker's Seal Lullaby. Not exactly from the musical. So this is funny because from Eric Whitaker's notes, he's talking about being in love with the Disney and Pixar movies of the early 2000s, late 1990s, early 2000s, and there were some people who came out and said, well, we're thinking about doing from the Rudyard Kipling poem, The White Seal, we're thinking about making a movie based on this. And Eric Whittaker, and would you be interested in composing music for this new movie that we're considering called The White Seal? And so he goes through and he reads some of the poems, like, this is great. Sits down, Mr. Carroll composes it, has his wife sing it, creates this whole demo album, sends it into Disney, and says, hey, here's my demo, here's what I think, you've talked to me about this. And then he doesn't hear anything. And days pass, weeks pass, months pass. Time goes on, and he doesn't hear. It's like, why did they reject this? This was such a great piece. Why? And to quote him, he says, soon after the workshop, I skip ahead here. I didn't hear anything from them for weeks and weeks, and I began to despair. Did they hate it? Was it too melodically complex? Did they even listen to it? Finally, I called them, begging them to know the reason that they had rejected my tender little song. Oh, said the exec. Well, we decided to make the movie Kung Fu Panda instead. Oops. So he didn't do anything. He sat on this beautiful melody, and then eventually, when contacted by some other musicians, said, "Hey, let's do this as an oral arrangement and a song." And so then arranged the Seal Lullaby for chorus, and you have a band arrangement. So not quite for a show, almost, but it counts. And featuring Bradley Wheel on the piano. Seal Lullaby by Eric Whittaker. so my last two pieces aren't going to be from musicals either. So we're stepping away from the program a little bit. Oh, it is a little bit programmatic. This one is written in 1951 by Leroy Anderson. He was a popular band composer. Some of my favorite tunes, of course, I think everyone probably knows, At Christmas Time, Sleigh Ride was written by Leroy Anderson. He also did a wonderful typewriter song, which calls for concert band and typewriter, as well as other cute and fun songs for concert band. This one's called The Phantom Regiment. And at the time it was written, 1951, it was written in 1951, the horrors of World War II were still fresh in everyone's mind, in everyone's memories. And he wrote this as a memory of those regiments that aren't anymore, all the men who died in World War II. And so this is the Phantom Regiment, those phantoms, those ghosts, those people who are no longer with us. And then you will hear little references to taps and reveille in some of the military bugle songs. And so they come in as little sneaks into this Phantom Regiment. So, by Leroy Anderson, The Phantom Regiment. Okay, and to close out tonight's program, we are going to do Firemen's Grand March. This is the cover, a photocopy of the cover of the sheet music that was published in 1873. It was piano music that was published. And what you can't see from where you're sitting is this fireman right here in the middle of this is his hat says Port Jervis, New York on it. And this was dedicated to the fire chief of Port Jervis, New York in 1873. And this Firemen's Grand March was given to me in the fall of 2022. And this is great, this is wonderful. And I pulled it out and I said, this is for piano. So I went to the best person I know for this job, our own Mr. Dadrick, and he arranged this piece for a concert band. And this is our band arrangement of Firemen's Grand March, which was dedicated in 1873 to the fire chief of Port Jervis. And in 2023, 150 years later, we performed it for the first time and rededicated it to the fire department in Port Jervis. So this is Port Jervis's very own Firemen's Grand March. Just for reference, this predates all of the John Philip Sousa marches by about 10 or 15 years. So, to put that in musical perspective. So this is a little bit before all those great John Philip Sousa marches. In fact, you'll hear that. It's not quite what we consider a modern march, but